Millions is brought to you by Leverage.ph and Cocopod Club.
What's up, party people? Welcome to the show. This is Jeff Horado hosting for the show Millions. All right, well, I'll be introducing our co-host and person
Wow.
for the show Millions. We have Francis Dolojan, managing director for Leverage, and we have Gio, our intern for today. He'll be the guest speaker for today.
What's up, guys? Hello.
Hi guys, I'm being
Hey.
paid.
All right. Today, since this is a new series that we're going to introduce, basically this is finance for millennials by millennials. So we're going to introduce siguro yung one of the most asked questions sa amin is how did we make our first 100,000? Medyo common na lahat yung how did we make our first million So that'll be our next topics, but we'll start with the more simpler one is how do we make our first 100,000? So, I'll throw that question to you, Francis.
I think si Gio may answer na yata.
Oh, okay. Gio.
May answer na si Gio.
Yes, Gio. Thank you for passing that question to Gio.
I think my answer is Sir Jeff. Joke. Just kidding.
Thank you for passing that question, which I will give back to Francis.
Just tossing the question around. Okay, so I guess I'll start. How to make your first million? I think the most easiest way would be to rob a bank. To steal the money.
Well,
because
that's true, yes. We never said legally. Legally or illegally, this show is all general to.
So there, but you have the risk of getting arrested. So let's not get arrested.
Oh,
Let's not
that's
get
like-
anybody arrested.
Yes. High risk, high return.
Exactly.
Maybe Gio can ask everybody to give you 1 peso. A
Sure.
million people.
Go to China, you'll get 1 billion pesos.
Just ask everybody a peso. Then you get 1 billion already after. And we'll change our name of the show to Billions, not more millions.
Thank you, Gio, for that very inspiring suggestion.
Gio, is that your final answer?
No, I'm just kidding. So how would I make my first 100,000?
Because I think for the information of everyone, Gio's still a student. He's about to graduate.
I forgot
and all
to mention.
that.
He's still he's an intern. He's interning with us here at Leverage.ph, and he's one of our financial analysts.
Yes, I am. No. Just almost gonna be a fresh grad, still student. How would I make my first 100,000?
Yes.
To make my first 100,000, you need to save. Saving all your sources of income is usually the common answer you get from students.
But wouldn't if you saved your already very minuscule baon?
It's gonna take a very, very long time.
Yes. So it means do you have to sacrifice your
of course,
pasyal and all?
of course.
Sacrifice before paradise.
So all
right?
4 years you're not gonna go out?
Well, that is the extreme application.
Okay, yeah.
However, since you're going to be we're going to be practical about this. So, let's say I don't risk my social life. So, I believe it would take even longer,
Yes.
way more than let's say 4-5 years if you're just saving on a student budget, which I find is very impractical because we as millennials, we want things very fast. We want to get the money as quick as we can.
Yes.
So far, the only solution, the most common solution is the slowest solution. And that's why we're on the show, to find out what can be the best solution for millennials to achieve that 100,000. So I'll toss the ball over to Francis.
Do you have a
Alright.
question? Open-minded ka ba?
Huh?
Hindi, pwede ba? Kung open-minded ka, are you open-minded to other business ventures and all that?
No. Joke lang. I'm just kidding.
So
50-50. 50-50.
But do you see? Can you say that you're approachable and and all that? And have you done a sale? Have you sold anything?
No, I'm not into sales.
You're
That's
not
why I
into
took
sa-
the finance path. But I know you have to sell everywhere. You have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
Not in the sex trade, but in interviews,
Yeah.
business interviews and such.
I like how you connect that too.
But yeah, basically that's one of the most important thing. I think it's it's ability to sell and all that. So one of the most important skills that you need as well, because especially when you're getting a job as well. you
have
need
to sell
your
yourself.
service and all that, right?
Yeah.
And with other things in life. But just to go back to the question of how do you make your first 100,000? Well, for me, when I was also back then,
Student like me.
student like Gio, I was very much open-minded to a lot of things, from selling shampoos to multivitamins and everything else. We did that. Also, we did insurance. So we sold insurance during break times and all that. That's one of the things I was able to do. I think once you achieve a certain level of success, maybe in insurance or maybe in other industries, once you start seeing results of a specific thing that you've been doing, you slowly try to systemize it and then again repeat the same procedure. So if you're basically making 5,000 doing this specific thing, you do it again over and over and over and get the results that until you get the results that you really wanted.
So basically, you create a system,
Yeah, you create your own system.
a repetitive system that generates into money-making ventures, which eventually has become a business.
Yes, yes. Don't worry, there's no referral fee for this one. There's no, this is not a Ponzi scheme system, but your own system in terms of how you generate income for yourself, right? Then basically that's, I think, aside from savings, investing, and also doing business on the side. So if we're going to be specific, it's more on the finance side. So money lending, investing, UITFs, MFs, stock market. It's a you can't have just one single income. You need to
Source
have
of income.
Yeah, you need to have multiple sources of one. Because
Right.
the problem with having just one, if it depletes, you're dead. But if you have multiple ones, then at least the other ones can sustain your lifestyle. and all
Like
that.
Warren Buffett says, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Because if that basket breaks, you're dead.
Yeah, you spread your seeds everywhere. I mean, money seeds. Yeah, money.
Right.
All right. So, siguro that's for you guys.
How
For
about
me,
Jeff? How about you?
For me, one of the things that would be turn your passion into a business. For example, I mean, I'm sure all of us have passions during college. May it be selling, may it be acting, or events, or minsan fashion. You guys do fashion shoots, mga girls and all. So I believe if you're passionate about something, make it into a business. Diba, pag laging repeat mo and all, why don't you capitalize on it and encourage others to do it, or you basically be on top of whatever passion that you have and create it into more of a business structure. What do you guys think?
I think that's one of the things. The reason why you want to turn your business into your passion to business, because during those hard and difficult times, during the times that you're struggling, it won't make you quit. Because if you're just doing it just for basically really profit, if you don't see the profit, you start quitting already. So that's why it's important that you are very much passionate with what you do, because that's the thing that will get you through the difficult moments, difficult times.
Well, I believe you can turn most of your passions into business.
Legal passions.
Legal passions. Not
What are your illegal passions?
Passion de amor. That's different, huh?
Passion is the same as addiction, ba? Joke lang. Passions, let's say you are good at music. One way you can turn it into business is by performing at places, gigs and such. Or writing or drawing, you can sell your arts and such. But there's more to it than
Just passion. Yeah.
what you see. You need to make sure that it also benefits others as well.
Yes.
Make sure that you aren't selling a product that nobody needs.
All right.
That's what I can see.
Thank you, Gio, for that. How about you, Francis? What would you like? What would you add to that about the passion into a business?
Yeah, just be passionate.
Well,
Be passionate about
Thank you for that brief statement.
brief and concise, right?
Brief and concise. Yeah.
Short and sweet.
Just be passionate about your passions. All right. Okay. So, how about you, Gio? Is there any other, ways that we can, help our listeners that silang gigil na sila to reach that 100,000? What other ways? Okay, first we'll do a quick recap. One is, of course, rob a bank.
Of course, of course.
Second is to turn your passion into business. Third is during savings. Of course, definitely saving is one of the main, one of the main ways to reach 100,000. But of course, for some people that are very limited income and want to double and cannot wait for that, is there any other ways that we can create exponentially ang paglaki?
Speaking of, let's say, speed in earning your first 100,000, First off, you need to identify yourself. You need to know yourself, whether in terms of, let's say,
Risk, you mean?
risk.
Yes, yeah. Risk appetite.
Because your risk appetite. I'm pretty sure you always hear this in banks or on TV.
Maybe we
finance.
would like to share muna what risk appetite means to our listeners.
Risk appetite means how much risk or how much are you willing to lose in order to gain. Because you cannot gain something without losing.
Yes.
It's a Chinese, something like a Chinese proverb.
Uh
It's your ability to gamble.
Yes.
It's like gambling. So if you're not very risky, if you're not a very risky person, let's say, you're on the safe side, you'll earn you'll earn less than the risky person, but you'll also be safe.
I think to best summarize it would be like this: you bet small, you earn small; you bet big, you earn big. But you can also lose big.
You can also lose big.
Yeah, you can
High
also
risk,
lose
high
big.
return,
High
yes.
risk, high return. That would better encapsulate that statement word. Wow, big word, encapsulate.
You know.
All right. So of course we have to understand first. Let's say this person is. Let's start with the conservative one. I'm a conservative person, and what do I need? What steps do I need to reach that 100,000? One, of course, definitely is the savings.
Of course.
What else is a conservative way to get to that 100,000? This is not risk high, mabang risk lang to.
Very conservative way.
Aside from savings.
Go to the supermarket, may lotto stand there. Pero may mga scratch panalos.
Hoy, high risk, high return rin yun.
Oh, but at least, di ba, 20 pesos lang tinaya mo. Then exponential yung growth ng pera mo, di ba? so ano lang, parang kang peso cost average. Yung everyday nagbibigay ka 20 pesos, mataya ka.
So eventually, in 10 to 15 decades,
You'll earn.
Marami kang pati yung building.
yumaman na sila. Ikaw doon pa rin.
That's a very, sorry.
Going back.
So sorry. But going back, so sure way of making 100,000. It's the surest way is the safest way. Basically, it's just making income. Income from doing direct selling or being an employee. But that's basically the surest way. Although there are still certain risks involved in being sure. Like for example, if you're being employed, you can also get fired and all that. And if you're direct selling, if you can't sell,
You won't make money.
You won't make money at the end of the day. So I mean, it depends on your risk appetite and how willing are you to make the 100K. Because actually, the question is quite vague. How do you make your first 100,000 in 10 years, or how do you make your 100,000 the next day? Because if you're going to make 100,000 by tomorrow, I'll tell you, go to the lotto stand and we'll see if we hit the jackpot tomorrow. But if you're going to tell me 100K in 10 years, just continue to work and you'll eventually get to the 100K.
One thing siguro I would like to add, siguro for others, would be learn how to do sales. I know it's kind of medyo malayo sa ano, but I believe sales during, for example, if you're in college or you're starting out as a employee, selling would help you eventually in all your your career-wise or the way you're going to plan your business, because all businesses depend on sales. Basically, if you're in any part of the organization, basically you're selling your idea, you're selling your decision, you're selling your product, you're selling whatever. Sales is probably a good foundation to start with. Kasi if let's say you're working, ito lang sweldo mo, 15,000 mo. How do you increase it? Do you increase it by OT? Hindi naman, di ba? I mean, that's just one way, but medyo if you have a sidelines, kunyari, let's say you earn an extra 5,000 pesos, then definitely that's more savings for you, which eventually will lead to a faster pag-save mo for that 100,000. That's for me, just sales. What else do you think can we do to achieve that 100,000? How about would you recommend people on sa stock market? No. Or what do you think?
Depends.
What do you think?
Case to basis. How do you make your first 100,000?
Let's go now to the high risk. Doon tayo sa high risk.
High risk.
Higher risk.
Ito,
na tayo.
very practical, guys. Very practical. How to make your first 100,000? Baba ka sa bahay nyo, labas ka, punta ka sa kapitbahay, mangutang ka ng 100. Sabi mo, papayag ka ng 5-6 mo. Papayag
Oh
ka.
my.
Meron ka ng 100,000.
Parang mahirap umutang ng 100,000. Minsan nga, 1,000 nga lang sa mantin sa'yo.
Umutang ka sa 100 na tao, na tigo
1,000.
1,000. Oo, pwede yun.
Ano yan average.
Oh, may 100,000 na.
So you have your 100,000, then you cry after 1 month.
After 1 month, when you're supposed to pay them.
So, after you get your 100,000, lumipat ka na ng bayan. Yun na lang gagawin mo.
You fly away.
So, that's one. Then, what else can you do to get 100,000? Well,
Would you recommend, let's say, magpautang to reach that 100,000?
but how can you lend if you don't have anything?
Let's say you earn 15,000 a month, and let's say your total expense is just around 10,000. You're left with 5,000. What would you rather do? Would you rather go for the conservative way of just saving that 5,000 pesos, or would you rather you compound it using the pautang method?
Well,
What would you do?
Well, honestly, I wouldn't lend it in the first 5 months. I mean, for the first 6 months, I won't.
Okay.
Because you need to build your emergency fund, savings, and other things.
So in the first 6 months, we save muna.
Yeah, because if not, you're wiped out.
So after
You're
the
totally
6
wiped
months, then we utilize it.
Depends on the circumstances. There's still a lot of things that you can do. But like for example, if you start lending out and you start losing, you're dead. You start panicking.
What if, let's say, kanina diba sabi mo it's a vague question and you said depends on 5 years, 2 years, or 10 years reaching the 100,000. What if, let's say, someone gives an answer like, I want 100,000 in 2 years.
100,000 2 years?
2 years. With a 15,000 salary, I'm saying 15,000 kasi that's the average. 15,000 salary, let's say, ang total gastos niya, including food, everything's around 10,000 and he's left with 5,000 pesos. How is he able to reach that 100,000 in 2 years? You just save up?
Well, it depends on how risky the situation is. But if you know the risk and you're willing to take that risk, very much so, you can double the money within the year if possible. So really depends on the risk that you're taking.
So basically also,
and if you know what you're doing.
Yes, exactly. So the more important thing would be knowledge about this specific way to earn, to double or triple your money.
Yeah, the knowledge will make
knowledge
you...
is very more important.
More than the money,
much,
it's the knowledge. It's the willingness to learn and everything.
So basically, before you reach that 100,000, you must have a knowledge of at least 100,000.
Yeah, at least.
Yung value, yung knowledge mo is 100,000 more than the financial, the financial capacity, ganon. All right. So I'll just recap everything what we've learned. First, of course, we learned from Gio the number one way is to
Steal.
Kill, steal, and destroy biblically to reach the 100,000. But on a more serious note, he added that savings is the way to go. For if you're a student, of course, definitely saving is the way to go. And then I added that we should start. Sales and passion for business. Yes, turn your passion into business. Basically, we all have passion. Let's see that if we can convert that into a business that can be profitable for all of us. And then Francis added that we could go for, what is that, Francis, again?
Which one?
Yung-
Pautang?
No, you're the one you
Lotto.
mentioned earlier.
Lotto?
Yeah, the lotto.
You got
the
very
lotto,
much PCSO.
Oh, 20 pesos spread out cost peso averaging.
Yeah, if you don't want to go to Lotto, may mga sabungan dyan sa baka bayan. Pwede rin yun doon.
It's true naman. It's still a way of earning money talaga.
Video karera.
Why not?
All right, and then of course, definitely we could also go into of course the lending business, which is very risky, but of course it also goes into but it's also a high return. So of course, eventually we learned that the best way for you to increase your money to 100,000 is first you invest in your knowledge. So learn first, and then before you start earning. So that's all for today. This is Jeff Horado from Millions, and please abangan nyo ang mga susunod namin mga topics. I hope you guys learned a lot. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Millions is co-produced by Francis Dolojan, Camille Rodriguez, and Ain Ong, in cooperation with Leverage.ph and Cocopod Club. The music in this podcast is Open Those Bright Eyes by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. For more information about this podcast, visit www.leverage.ph or www.cocopod.club.